Hey, Dr. Houston here, founder of expectingvictory.com, as well as the Elite Speakers Institute. One question for you. Are you willing to break free from you? Oh gosh, I got to rewind that because I had to ask myself that question. And I have to ask myself that question a lot because in order to get to where I desire to be, I have to become a totally different person. Because what got you here won't get you there. So let me ask you that again. Are you willing to break free from you? A lot of times we are telling ourselves that we want more, we want a better life, we want a better experience, we want a better career, we want to grow our businesses, we want to lose weight, we want this, we want that. But the question is, are you willing to admit that you are not where you need to be in order to get that which you are asking for, in order to get that what you are seeking, right? Because the people who are winning, right? Or at least from the outside looking in, they appear to be winning because they're achieving the things that you secretly desire to achieve, right? They have the relationship, they have all of those things that you're like, oh, if I could just get that. The thing is, you can. You can. But before you can do that, like in order for things to change, you have to be willing to change. And you have to be willing to identify those things in your life that have to change, like the mindset, the thought processes, your beliefs, your habits, the words that you speak out of your mouth, because words are energy. Like, so you've got to be willing to be honest with yourself about those things. And you have to understand that those people, it's not like they're extremely smart, extremely creative. Many of them are, but what they have is a desire to hang in there when it gets tough. Like what they have is grit. They refuse to give up. They're willing to be temporarily uncomfortable in order to obtain a long-term win. And my question is, are you willing to do that? Like, are you willing to deal with your self-doubt? Are you willing to deal with your rejection issues? Like that's something that I struggled with for years and I've gotten better, but I'm not 100% where I need to be. And so I know that, like, hey, when I feel resistance, when I know there's something I need to do or follow-ups or whatever, I was just sharing this with my mastermind group. And it's like, oh, but do it. Like, do you want the win or not? Do you want the contract or not? Do you want the body or not? Like, do you want to be happy or not? Like, you got to be real with yourself when it comes to that. And you got to be willing to step out of the story that you've been telling yourself about yourself. Like if you've been telling yourself you're not smart, if you've been telling yourself that you can't achieve the goals that you want to achieve, if you've been telling yourself that nobody wants to hear from you, if you've been telling yourself, I'm not a good speaker, I'm not a good teacher, I'm not a good marketer, I'm like, if you're telling yourself all of these things, you are literally repelling what it is that you say you want. And so you got to make a decision to change that story. You got to make a decision to rewrite that script, and don't be like so attached to who you were that you're not willing to release that person. Like, I mean, it sounds weird, but many times we are so attached to that story we've created. Like, oh, I want to go after this contract, but I'm not a good writer. I want to write a book, but like, you got to release that version of yourself that you've created in your mind. Like, can you rephrase it? Like I share this with my one-on-one clients all the time. Like, you've got to be willing to reframe your thoughts and rephrase your words so that they build you up instead of tearing you down. And you've got to recognize when those thoughts come in, like, hey, I'm rewriting my script. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna align with what I've said about myself for the last 5 years, 10 years, or maybe what somebody else said to you. Maybe they called you stupid or ugly or whatever. You got to release that story and you've got to create a new one, because that's what it's going to take in order for you to create a new life. And so you got to decide, I'm not going to let another 6 months pass with me being in limbo, with me feeling stuck, with me feeling like I'm not doing enough, like feeling unfulfilled in my life. I've got to do this. I've got to make the change. I've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. I've got to make the sacrifices. Like winners, they aren't concerned about what other people are saying about them. They might call them crazy, stupid, selfish, but they have that laser focus. And they're saying, like, I'm not going to let anyone stop me, including myself. And so if you know that there are habits you need to change, beliefs you need to change, like sometimes there are beliefs that have been ingrained in you from childhood. And they did, your parents, your family, whoever it was that instilled those beliefs in you, they did the best they could. They taught you what they were taught. But now that you know better, it's time for you to do better. And so make the decision. This is the year. This is the year that I'm going to do it. Like, this is the year that I'm going to be fulfilled. This is the year I'm going to be authentically happy, not just pretending to be happy, but genuinely happy. This is the year that I'm going to start to put myself first. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to take care of my mind, my spirit. I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to go to a conference. I'm going to network. I'm going to speak up for myself more. Like, whatever that is that you want, it's not far-fetched. I can't say this enough. When a desire fills your heart, that is because you are supposed to get it. You are supposed to get it, so don't block it. Don't resist the flow. Go with the flow. Create a new version of yourself and step into it. And you may not get it right all the time. You may take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's okay. As long as you are aware and willing to keep trying, to keep working on yourself, to keep making progress, even if it's just a little bit every day, you're going to get there. Until next time, take care.